So this Saturday, we have a very good fight between David Benavidez and Demetrius Andrade. And I'm so glad we're actually getting this fight. This isn't a fight that I actually expected for us to get in the sport. It's not a fight that we were really expecting in general, to be honest. Yes, Demetrius Andrade moved over to Showtime in the PBC, and we were expecting him to start attempting to get bigger opportunities. But for this fight to actually happen, I'm very glad. I'm very genuinely excited for this one. It's a very intriguing matchup. There's a few ways the fight can play out, but here's my exact prediction. Here's my breakdown. Now, what I see happening early on, I see the beginning of the fight being very similar to the Caleb Plant one, and many people are probably going to have a very similar prediction when it comes to how they expect the beginning of the fight to be. However, I do think there is a chance that Demetrius Andrade actually clips Benavidez early and maybe even gets a flash knockdown. I think there's a very good chance this happens, and not many people are giving that possibility much of a chance. They're not giving it the shot that I really think it has. I think there's a good chance that actually does happen, because I think Benavidez is not going to respect Andrade's power. He's going to walk him down a little too comfortably, and Andrade might make him pay early on. However, I don't think that's going to happen, but I think there's a very good chance. So what I see happening, first 3 rounds, I see Andrade sweeping them, winning them very comfortably. Benavidez chasing him down, hunting him down, but not really landing too much, not throwing too much either. I feel like Benavidez is not going to overexert himself early either. Yes, he's going to hunt him down and try to cut off the ring and whatever, but I don't see him landing anything crazy early on. I see Andrade using the jab, keeping him at bay, and if he does overexert himself, getting clipped early, but I don't think that's going to happen, but there is a chance. So Andrade's going to have a nice little lead early on. I see Benavidez clawing his way back into the fight, as everyone expects. I see him starting to take over by the midpoint of the fight, and I see him really starting to batter Demetrius Andrade, really starting to hurt him, break him down, piece him up, and I see him stopping Demetrius Andrade, and I'm going to go for David Benavidez, 10th round TKO victory. He's going to be up 6 rounds to 3, something in that range, maybe 5 rounds to 4, maybe 7 rounds to 2, anywhere from 7 rounds to 2 to 5 rounds to 4. I think Benavidez will be up on the cards before the stoppage. He will lose some of the early rounds, and he will be behind on the cards at some point in the fight, but I see him taking over, and I feel once he takes over, unlike the Caleb Plant fight where once he took over, he really started to batter Plant, but Plant was still offering some form of resistance, I feel like Andrade's likely going to just completely shut down, man. I think once Andrade really starts to get figured out, once Benavidez figures Andrade out, I think Andrade's going to shut down. He's going to be completely on the defensive, kind of how he was in spurts of the Liam Williams fight. When Liam Williams was really starting to open up on Andrade was shutting down and just letting Williams work and not really offering much in return. He was getting hurt very often as well in that fight. I feel once Benavidez starts to really take over, he's going to shut down, he's going to take a lot of punishment, and eventually Benavidez is going to get him out of there. 10th round TKO victory for David Benavidez. Now, Demetrius Andrade's a good boxer. He's very slick. He's very awkward. His style is not a traditional slick back foot fighter. He has a lot of quirks to his game. I also feel he has a lot more flaws than a lot of traditional back foot fighters. I genuinely think Caleb Plant's a better fighter than him, and I would pick Caleb Plant to defeat him. But Andrade is dangerous because you don't know exactly what he's going to bring to the table. First of all, we don't know exactly which Demetrius Andrade is going to show up. He's moving up in weight. He hasn't been active. He hasn't fought a top opponent in a bit. We don't know exactly what we're going to see. And also when it comes to us not knowing what we're going to see from Andrade doesn't always fight the same fight every time out. There's times where Andrade will put on a complete snooze fest and win a very dull decision where nothing really happens and he just fights on the back foot and outworks his opponent but doesn't do anything too impressive or shocking. And there's times where Andrade will make a complete statement and drop his opponent 4 or 5 times, take him out in a couple rounds, or stop him in the later rounds, or win a very wide decision where he just completely dominates the entire fight. So I don't know exactly which Demetrius Andrade we're going to get in this one. I expect us to get the best version of him because this is by far the best opponent he has taken on in his career. Best opponent he's taken on so far, without a doubt, is David Benavidez. And I feel because of that factor, he's going to step it up. He's going to look really sharp early on and make a statement in the first few rounds. But I genuinely think Benavidez is going to catch up to him and put him away. Now, as I said, there's an opportunity for him to get a flash knockdown early. I really think that is a possibility. And some people may say, oh, Caleb Plant hits harder than Demetrius Andrade. He never had Benavidez in much trouble, whatever. I'm not saying he's going to hurt Benavidez and nearly get him out of there. I think there's a good chance that he just clips him with something Benavidez doesn't see coming. Demetrius Andrade is very awkward. He lands a lot of very weird punches. Not all of his punches are thrown with the right technique either, simply due to the fact that he's throwing from such weird angles. And I feel that Benavidez genuinely respected Caleb Plant as a fighter. I know he talked a lot of trash to him, but you can tell by the way that fight played out and the way Benavidez was fighting Plant, he respected his ability. And he also, I think, respected his power after seeing what he did to Anthony Durrell right before their fight. So he knew to not fully overexert himself. There's a chance he'll start fighting reckless against Andrade, and Andrade will make him pay for it. However, I don't think that knockdown will happen. But as I'm saying, I'm being very, very consistent with the view that that may happen. Because when it does happen, or if it happens, right, I want people to say, oh, I did call it. Anyways, there's also a chance that this fight goes a completely different way than I expect, and Benavidez starts the fight really strong, maybe even chins Andrade early, and Andrade eventually figures Benavidez out and outclasses him to a decision, kind of like he did against Vanes Martirosyan. I don't think that's going to happen. Benavidez is much bigger, much stronger than anyone Andrade's fought. I've never been too high in Demetrius Andrade as a fighter. I don't think he's a bad fighter at all. That's why I genuinely am looking forward to this one. I see him giving a good account of himself, but I feel Benavidez is next level. I'm relatively high in Benavidez, and it's kind of interesting because I wasn't always high on Benavidez as a fighter. If you guys have watched my channel, you would know that I've actually been, I'm not going to say critical of Benavidez as a fighter, but maybe critical might actually be the right word. I've always viewed him as a very good fighter, but I never was as high on him. I never thought he would be anything too amazing. I thought he was solid, but there was a point in time where I was picking Callum Smith to beat him. There was a point in time where I was picking Caleb Plant to beat him. Not when they fought, but a couple years before they fought. When Plant still had the IBF, I was picking him to beat David Benavidez. I wasn't super impressed by Benavidez, especially, with that Anthony Dirrell performance and the Ronald Gavril performance. But honestly, he's looked really good as of late, and I'm genuinely a guy who has a lot of faith in him as a fighter. And I would even pick him to beat Canelo at this point. I know it's a bold take, but I just really have not been impressing Canelo in his last few outings. I was picking Canelo to beat Benavidez at one point, but I feel as time has passed, I think Benavidez would probably outwork him. And in this fight, I see him stopping Andrade and making a statement, getting another great victory. And guys, let's be objective here. Benavidez is having a really good 2023. Assuming he gets his win against Demetrius Andrade, he'll have a win against Caleb Plant and Andrade in the same year. That's a really solid 2023. And dare I say it, even a better 2023 than my man Devin Haney. I'm a fan of Devin Haney, and he's fought good opposition this year in Vasyl Lomachenko and Regis Prograis, but I thought he lost to Loma, and Regis Prograis looked garbage in his last fight. Even Loma looked pretty bad in his last fight prior to fighting Devin Haney, while David Benavidez is taking on Caleb Plant, who is a tremendous talent. I don't think anyone can deny that, and the people who do deny that are completely wrong. I don't care if he lost to Canelo, if he has a bad gas tank, the Benavidez loss. He's a tremendous talent. I saw him in person. I was at the Benavidez fight. I'm very glad I was there. Great fight, great fighter. When you look at Caleb Plant, now you're looking at him taking on Demetrius Andrade, an undefeated fighter who, I don't know if the accusations of him being ducked are really true. I don't really think they are. But he's definitely not a guy that is high reward. He's definitely a low-risk, high-reward opponent. And Benavidez is taking him on when that Canelo fight is very possible for him. He's taking this risk of possibly sidetracking Canelo fight. I don't think Canelo really wants that Benavidez fight, but it's a fight that's very realistic, and he's risking that by taking on Demetrius Andrade, and I give him his props, and I see him getting the victory in this bout. I see him breaking Andrade down and getting the stoppage. I see him getting on the inside, getting Andrade on the ropes, going to the body, and just landing a barrage of shots. Honestly, Andrade, I really don't think he's that great of a defensive fighter. He's very good, technically, right? He's very sharp, but I've never been impressed in his defense at all. I feel like that's one aspect, because him and Erislandy Lara were rumored to be in negotiations at one point, and people would debate who would win. I always favored Lara due to the fact that I can trust Lara's defense more than Andrade. I don't really think Andrade's the best defensive fighter, especially when he takes on better opposition. I feel Andrade's opposition and the opponents he's taken on has been very shallow, not good preparation at all for Benavidez, and I don't think he's going to be able to handle that power once Benavidez starts to warm up to him. And I'm going with David Benavidez with a 10th round TKO victory. You guys tell me down in the comment section below. Tell me your prediction. I'd appreciate it if the people watching tell me their exact prediction, because I'm really curious. I want to see if anyone can call it to a T. Tell me the exact fighter you're picking, and also tell me the round. If you think Andrade's going to win, if you think Benavidez is going to win, tell me if it's going to be on points. If you think it's going to be by stoppage, tell me the exact round, because I'm genuinely curious what you guys think, and I'm genuinely curious if anyone's going to actually call it to a T. That would be so cool if someone got the exact round. Tell me your thoughts down below. Thanks for watching. Have a good one. God bless. I'll see you guys later. Peace.